Hello and welcome to Embracing Extraordinary podcast. I'm Deidre.
And I'm Jodie, and we're here to create a space for you to explore, expand, and embrace that extraordinary exists, is possible, and how extraordinary you truly are.
To hug, hold, accept, and embrace it to create your most extraordinary life. Welcome to our very first episode of the Embracing Extraordinary podcast. I'm Deidre.
Hello, I'm Jodie.
And we're so grateful to have you here with us as we begin this journey together. Today, we're beginning with the story behind it all. Maybe you're like we were, noticing that spark within you, that sense that there's something unique, something extraordinary waiting to be realized in yourself. It's quite often at first just an idea or a feeling, but with time it grows. And that's exactly what happened for us. And it's why we created this space to help people like you remember their true nature and to inspire every part of your life to reflect that, to live more well, to live more fully, and to create their most extraordinary life. Today, we're going to deep dive into the origins of Embrace Your Extraordinary and the philosophy that grounds us. We'll talk about our own turning points and invite you to join us in exploring how embracing extraordinary can shape your path forward. So to start, let's go back to the very beginning, Jodie. And where did it all start for you?
Oh my gosh, I know we've talked about this. Just the whole life really, but our journey together, there's little steps along the way that I can look back and go, oh yeah, that's where that started. That's where that started. Because it kind of feels like it's always been a part of me really. But I guess, when we started working together, it was nearly 21 years ago now,
It
when we
is.
first met, and we were so, we were working in an environment where it was very much helping people achieve their dreams, to realize what they could do to get the best at what they do and hone in on their craft. And we created pathways to do that. So that's kind of, I guess, where it started a little bit for me. And then it's just evolved, like we worked together, and then we both went off on our own paths and our own journeys, and our pathways kind of kept crossing, and we're both just so
They did.
pulled to this whole human potential side of things, which just, that opened my heart, my world, my mind to everything years ago. And I know that, yours is quite similar, that and it's like, man, everyone needs to know this stuff. How can we share it? So how about you, honey? Like, how did it start for
Absolutely.
you?
Yeah, mine started for me. I think it's been those little breadcrumbs that have been there for
Mm,
me since I was a child.
mm,
And I think as I got older, those breadcrumbs got bigger and
yeah.
bigger and bigger. And for me, it was a moment that when I left my, long time corporate career of being there for over 15 years and having a dream to be recognized as the leaders in our hairdressing industry with our education. And it was a moment that, we got there and achieved that. And I was thinking that, it would feel amazing and I'd feel fulfilled and, things would be different, but it wasn't. And I still felt like something for me was missing. And I then, started to go on that journey because I think up until that moment, I had been looking for fulfillment and happiness in everything outside of me
Hmm.
and realizing that wasn't the way that life was. And it wasn't the way that I wanted to live life because I got there, got the dream, but I was exhausted. I was
Mm,
burnt out. I was no good to anybody. So
mm,
then that took me on that journey of just exploring more about who I am, um, and what I have available to me. So
mm,
I think that was very much where it started, and it's just got, again, louder and louder and louder as
mm.
life's gone on from there as well.
Yeah. And I think it sort of becomes a point that when you learn this stuff, and it becomes so much of who you be, and it's just You just want to share it, and that starts with you, with family, and then it gets bigger and bigger. And sort of that's why we're here, Embrace Your Extraordinary. We've been talking about it and creating this behind the scenes for what, nearly
Mm,
2 years now. And
yeah,
lots of really cool things, but it's really evolved even since we began, and
yeah,
yeah, we think it's pretty
yeah.
beautiful.
Since we had that little spark of an idea that, we've learnt so much and
Mm,
been on this journey, and that we have so much that we would like to share
mm,
um, with with people,
mm.
because I think through sharing is how we learn and evolve and grow as well.
Yeah.
Just like since we started that, that spark of an idea, it's evolved so much since then, and we've evolved
Oh my gosh,
so
so
much
much.
since then.
So much, like we both had to learn to be pretty patient with the process and really leaning into trust that it all happens exactly when it's meant to happen, because what we were talking about 2 years ago is so different
Mm,
to, it's evolved so much in terms of what we can bring now. And we've had to go through our own journey with this as well. And we'll continue to, that's part of it as
absolutely.
well. Should we talk about
Yeah,
what embrace your extraordinary really means?
absolutely. I love
Yeah,
this. This is,
yeah.
yeah, this is so good. I'll let you talk about it, Jode.
All right. I'm going to read out our definition. So we talk about the fact that when we talk about what does embrace your extraordinary means, we break it down into those three words. And so embrace means to accept willingly or hug or, hold, receive gladly. Your is what belongs to you, like what's yours. And then extraordinary means beyond ordinary or beyond the regular, that it's exceptional and remarkable. And so when we put that together, embrace your extraordinary means to accept willingly, hug and hold gladly the extraordinary and remarkable qualities that are yours. And we call that your true nature, your natural human plus personal essence, potential, talents, and abilities that make you far beyond ordinary. And the other, I think, the thing to recognize with that is often it's the things that we think are the most
Mm,
ordinary that when we take a closer look, they're really quite extraordinary. And what we've discussed is, you think about an ordinary blade of grass, like in the backyard,
mm,
looks like a piece of grass and it's ordinary. It's something that we're so used to and is so beautiful. But then when we look closer, like if you look at grass, sorry, underneath the microscope, looks like happy emojis. And we're a bit the
yeah.
same. Like, what we might think is ordinary is really, really quite remarkable when we take a closer look. And that's the whole concept of this embrace your extraordinary that we might refer to. You'll hear us talk about it as EYE, is that you are literally remarkable and extraordinary, and everything we're about is to help you realize and remember that,
Mm,
to create your most extraordinary life. So embrace it, hug yourself, hold
yeah,
yourself gladly, all of
yeah,
that. Mm,
yeah. And I think the thing that I've realized too is that it's that sense of remembering who we are, because you've often heard me talk about this, Jodes, as a puzzle, and I'm sure we'll share more about this as we
mm,
move through the podcast sessions. But really, we have everything that we ever need
totally.
within, and it's that real coming home to and remembering that true nature.
Hmm.
Um, and I just think that that is so special, that that's, yeah, it's really extraordinary. Yeah.
Yeah. You described it to me, honey, that, like when you were doing a puzzle and, it was looking at a puzzle, a piece from a different
Mm.
angle, and then, it all started to fall into place.
Yeah, within that box, everything to make that absolutely amazing, beautiful puzzle is all there. And it just takes, patience, and it takes resilience in a sense as well,
Mm.
looking at pieces. And sometimes it's like, I know that this is the piece, but let me just put it this way or put it that way, and
Mm.
see how that, fits into that bigger story.
Mm,
of that puzzle. It's the same as with life. If we can trust in life and trust that everything is there for us, maybe we just need to look at things with a slightly different angle or
mm,
perspective.
mm.
We can, yeah, learn and grow from that.
Totally. And I also think that, being human can feel like a puzzle.
Oh,
It can feel like a
absolutely. It
puzzle because
is.
there's so many parts, and we're not born with a handbook to say, hey, this is what it means to be human, and this is how you go out and create the most extraordinary life. But as we get older and we learn and we're exposed to more information, then you realize that we're actually this one beautiful, amazing being, but there's so many parts. And that's what
Yeah.
EYE is all about too. It's about remembering what are actually the parts that make you up being a human? How do we bring those beautiful
Mm,
puzzle pieces together to help you tap into what is your true nature and, open up those beautiful, extraordinary potentials, which really are available to everyone. We've all got
yeah.
it, but we're not all, we just don't always know it. We didn't. We still got
No,
heaps to learn. We're just sharing what we believe and know so far. And but there's more and more to learn. Or remember, you said that before. It's
remember.
remembering, you know, who you are, who and what you
Yeah.
are, really. So,
Absolutely. And that's what I loved about it when we first started exploring the whole concept was this concept of this true nature. And, we will
mm,
explore that with you in more detail. But it was kind of this moment for me that going, oh my God,
mm,
I am so extraordinary.
mm,
It's just that once I take that time to look within, I can see
mm,
that
mm.
extraordinary.
And we don't believe that
Yeah.
all the time, right? It's not like you walk
No.
around life thinking that all the time, but when you have those moments and you connect with your heart and you can really go back and see it, then it's so beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've
Mm.
often used that. I've shared this before, but I've often used that question. How would I handle this if I knew I was extraordinary?
Mm.
And it just again allows a different lens to
Mm.
look through situations and to look
Mm.
through life with, to
Mm.
give us lots of different options.
Mm. Yeah.
So,
And I guess, we want to help people remember their magic, because there's been many times throughout both of our lives, and we've talked about this a lot. It's really easy to forget and it's really easy to not know. And, that when you can come back to that, and I love what you just said, walking through life, imagine walking through life knowing that you really are
mm,
extraordinary. There's nothing ordinary about you. You're a
no,
70 trillion celled plus extraordinary multidimensional being. Like there's nothing ordinary about you, but because it's just who you are. And so remembering that stuff, it really is, it's so empowering and it's so liberating, but it also just brings you back to who you really are.
absolutely.
Mm,
Because, I know for me, I want to live more well. Like I want to be
mm,
able to, do all of those things that I dream of doing, to have that real deep sense of fulfillment and
mm,
create, my most extraordinary life.
mm,
And be the role model for my children to
mm,
be able to do the same as well.
yeah, yeah. We could talk about this for so long.
Absolutely. There's
We've got so
so,
much to
so
share
much.
and so much we want to say, but we're trying to get it into, a bite size of information, a bit bite size of conversation. So,
But but we're so
yeah,
excited
yeah.
that you come on this journey with us and allowing us the privilege of sharing what we know and what we've experienced.
Hmm. Hmm. And I guess too, like we know that we've talked about this too, like you are the guru. Like we're not the gurus. You're the guru of your life. None of us know everything that there ever is to know, but what we're really about is sharing what we believe and what we know so far
Yeah,
with the hope and intention that it might just resonate with something that it is that can really inspire you as well. So, that's what it's all about.
yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely. Well said, Jode.
Thank you so much for joining us today. There's a little bit of a snippet from us, who we are, what we're about, what Embrace Your Extraordinary is all about. And yeah, tune in for our next episode. We're going to be talking with that one more about what this podcast is all about, Embracing Extraordinary Podcast. And we'll see you there. Lots of love.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for listening. Until next time. Bye.
See ya. Thanks so much for joining us. We hope this conversation has inspired you to start to explore, expand, and embrace that extraordinary exists, is possible, and how extraordinary you truly are.
If you loved this conversation, we would be so grateful for you to share it with the people in your world who you think might love to hear it. Please leave a review to help us reach more extraordinary people like you and turn these ripples into waves.
Until next time, remember, you're extraordinary. Dare to embrace it.